Good evening, football fans of Real Sports Live and of the Rio Grande Valley. We're here at Richard R. Flores Stadium for a bi-district round playoff. I'm Brandon Guzman on the mic, alongside John Trevino.
Thanks for having me, Brandon. It's a classic East versus Upper Valley, Lower Valley matchup here. It's the interesting fact this is the first time these two teams play each other.
The first time they play each other, so there's no bad blood, but there will be after tonight between these two teams. The SaberCats come into this game. They won their district. They're 10-0 on the season. And then the Greyhounds, I believe they finished in third place or in second place in their district, or I believe fourth place. So they are 8-2 on the season overall, and then 5-2 on district play. So they come over here to Vela tonight in a bi-district round matchup, and the winner is going to continue, and they're going to play the winner of Del Rio and San Antonio Taft.
Yeah, no, it's a big-time matchup. I know the 8-2 record looks pretty, but the two losses they did have were to Harlingen and Harlingen South. Harlingen South, the district winner, and Harlingen, the it came in third place. That's why it knocked down San Benito all the way to the 4th spot. So this is, especially with football, this is 6A Division II due to it being a small school matchup.
Yeah, and so here we are. We have the game for you, audio only. Unfortunately, we would love to have video for you, but due to unforeseen events, that will not be the case. We do have the scoreboard running. We have our nice little clip art for you. And both teams are already taking the field. The SaberCats are lined up to kick. It's going to be Job Juarez kicking it back deep to number 14, Fabian Garcia, alongside number 26, Bomini Guy. And, of course, how can we forget the main man, number 5, Jermaine Corbin. The kick is away, and it's going to be Corbin fielding the kickoff. No fair catch, and he's going to take off with it, making a couple SaberCats miss, and he's going to fall down at about the 30-yard line. That was number 8 on the tackle for the SaberCats, Joshua Garcia.
Yeah, and they'll come out and they'll face one of Vela's toughest defense, if not the toughest defense in the school's history. This is their 10-year anniversary so far, but this has definitely been one of the more dominant forces we've ever seen from them.
Yeah, we were doing some homework before the game, and it's Jake Duffner who leads this defense. He averages 4 tackles a game and 1 sack a game. It's not a lot, but the QB pressures that he applies, it gets to the teammates. There's a quarterback. Quick pass to Corbin, a 5-yard hitch. It's going to go for a first down and more.
Yeah, it's going to be a gain of 11 from Corbin there. He's going to be the main man. They're going to put him out in space and really work to get him the ball at all costs.
Atticus De Leon is the quarterback who's going to be holding down the fort tonight who's going to be leading this Greyhounds offense, but he's in a 2-back split right now with Corbin and Garcia. It's going to be a handoff to Garcia to the right-hand side, missed tackle, and he's going to take that for about, we'll say, a 4-yard gain on that one. It's going to bring up a second and maybe 6.
Made a man miss in the backfield. Would have been a loss for about 2, maybe 3. Able to shake him off, get about a huge gain of 4, and set up with a set up the Greyhounds with a second and medium here.
So there you are. They're going to correct the play. The scoreboard was 2nd and 6. They had it at 2nd and 7 at the Greyhounds' 45-yard line. We're just under a minute off of this game, and the Greyhounds offense, 2 big plays, and here they are. Man in motion from left to right. It's going to be a quick pass from Atticus as he's going to be tackled up quickly. That's going to go for number 4, Ricky Perez. So Atticus wasn't in the quarterback position, John. He was in a slot position. They motioned him over. And, he can pass too. So you saw that right there. It was Ricky Perez with a nice 5-yard gain. And they moved the sticks once again. Another first down carry.
Yeah, they're going to do everything in their power to try to get the defensive backs and the linebackers lost with their eyes in the backfield and trying to burn them deep.
There they are. 1st and 10 at the SaberCats 46. Handoff down the middle. It's going to be a first down and more. The official's in the way, and it's going to be a huge one as they take that one all the way down to about the 26-yard line. Another 1st and 10 for the Greyhounds as they seem to be running the ball pretty well here. And we're going to have a timeout called by the SaberCats. Coach Campbell kind of shell-shocked here in this one to start us off.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to recuperate, trying to get themselves back under control here. I'm pretty sure Coach Campbell's telling them, "Hey, relax. This is probably going to be their biggest punch. Just withstand it. Just keep fighting. We just cannot miss tackles."
Yeah, a lot of run plays. We've only seen one pass play And that was for a first down. As we look at the stats for the Greyhounds on the season, they rushed for 2,693 yards. They only passed for 1,010. So you see they're more of a ground game, and they can do that as you got weapons left and right. And, of course, every team has their little jack of all trades, and theirs is Jermaine Corbin. He's listed as a wide receiver, a tight end, and a cornerback here on the roster.
Yeah, Corbin's their do-it-all, man. He's gonna line up absolutely anywhere. He'll even take some snaps at quarterback. He's in the slot here.
Motion for Corbin. They're going to reverse it to the right-hand side. One SaberCat there as they make a miss. That was Guy on the carry as he took that one back for a lot. It's going to be a 2nd and maybe 7 here as he didn't pick up much.
Yeah, it looked like a huge gain just because he got the ball in the backfield about 5 to 6 yards from behind the line of scrimmage. So a double reverse there sets up the Greyhounds with 2nd and 7.
There's Garcia in the backfield once again. They're going to hand it off, and he's going to be stuffed in the backfield by the SaberCats as they rush quick to him. That's number 95 on the initial contact, Joshua Gallegos.
Yeah, Gallegos, the senior defensive tackle. He's the man inside who tries to keep everyone off of Duffner, so Duffner's going to have the one-on-ones on the outside.
And that's something that Duffner has excelled at. Whenever they put him one-on-one, it's not a good matchup for your left tackle or your right tackle. He even lines up inside the interior defensive line. So if you got him one-on-one, well, it might end up in a sack or a tackle for loss.
Yeah, no, really good defensive line. The defensive coordinator, Coach Jody Cantu, putting everyone in the right position for the SaberCats, and it's paid off for them this year.
So here we are with a 3rd and 7. Ball on the SaberCats' 23-yard line for the Greyhounds. Corbin in motion from right to left. It's going to be Atticus with a pass as it gets intercepted. Going the opposite way, the SaberCats have it, and it's Justin Navarro, the defensive back for the SaberCats, who comes up with a big stop. And the fans on the San Benito side are very, very quiet now.
Yeah, no, they looked like they were rolling, and it seemed Navarro was just waiting for a pop pass for something like that to happen. And Navarro's done it the whole year, guys. He's an excellent playmaker on special teams as well, and he comes up and makes a huge pick there.
It was intended for the tight end, and Navarro playing the safety position at that point. Cuts him off quickly, and now the SaberCats have the ball at 1st and 10 at their own 25. So it's like a brand new possession, like nothing ever happened, like they're starting the game with the ball. It's Chase Campbell motioning over his man, Pablo Rivera. Roll out to the left, and it's going to be a catch by Tovar, the tight end. A huge one as it takes it all the way down to the SaberCats' 39-yard line. I want to say this is where they're going to spot it with a 1st and 10.
Yeah, play action boot there for Campbell. Had a lead blocker out in front. That was Clow. Able to seal the edge, let Campbell sit in the pocket nicely, and fire over the middle of Tovar.
Here we are. 1st and 10 once again for the SaberCats. Their own 39. Another play action out route by Rivera. It's going to be too much as that goes incomplete. John, we've seen a lot more play action passes here from Vela towards the end of the season. And what's changed from the beginning, to the second half?
And, that's just teams starting to make adjustments, starting to key in the run game, they said. And Vela using their full amount of weapons, saying, okay, you can key in the run game. We'll beat you either deep or we'll beat you with comeback routes.
And that's something we've seen. Rivera used to line up in the backfield with Campbell, and he's been split out wide the last couple of weeks of district play. Campbell dropping back to pass. Pass over the middle to Tovar. Has a lane. One man to miss. A stiff arm as he stays on his feet and eventually gets out of bounds past the 50-yard line into Greyhound territory. No flag, so the play is going to stand. It's going to go all the way down to, let's see where the official's at. So they're going to mark him down at the 44-yard line. So another 1st and 10 for Vela.
Big game there, and we've seen him open these past 2 plays. But Tovar's not a name we've called too often throughout the season. So Campbell really looking into his bag here and using all of his weapons here in the playoffs. There's
Poli in the motion. It's going to be a handoff to Ted Galvan. Surprised we've called his name this late into the drive. We look at our little homework here. Galvan averages about 91 yards a game, and he has 8 total touchdowns on the season. His best game came against PSJ North. They won that one 24-0. He had 12 carries for 163 yards and 2 touchdowns. So a 2nd and 10. Galvan got stuffed at the line of scrimmage. The clock continues to roll. 3 receivers split to the right. Campbell hands it off back to Galvan, and the The Greyhounds defense are there for it. That's number 28 on the tackle, Mauricio Padilla.
Yeah, this Greyhounds defense really king on the run. These first 2 runs from Galvan gone for maybe a total gain of 4. Galvan's going to be the guy where they can give it to him over and over and over and over again, and they'll try to do that eventually over time. But the run defense so far is stepping up to the challenge.
That's very true. Here we are, 3rd and 8, SaberCats. Their first third down of the drive of the game, we'll say it at that. Campbell's going to drop back to pass. Pressure's coming. He's going to throw it over the top. Rivera's open, and it's going to bounce off, and an interception is going back the other way. That's number 25 for the Greyhounds. Rowan Garcia making a huge play there for the Greyhound defense. So, John, the Greyhounds started their drive. They ended it with an interception from Vela. Now the Vela has a drive here, and they get an interception back. This game's going to go back and forth just like that.
Yeah, no, beautiful play on the defense side of the ball. It looked like there was he was trying to hit Pablo P.J. Rivera deep, and beautiful one-on-one coverage, and the corner knocks it out of the air. The safety, who was just coming over to help just in case of a tip ball, finds himself with the ball in his hands.
And that pass was intended for Pablo Rivera, the man we're going to talk about just a bit later when the SaberCats get back on their offense. But here we are, Greyhounds, 1st and 10 at their own 20. Handoff to the left-hand side, and he's going to be stuffed in the back. Number 14, Fabian Garcia on the carry, and the SaberCats are there for it. You know, John, Garcia is a man who's their feature back here in the Greyhound offense. He has 114 yards a game. He averages that. He has 11 touchdowns on the season, and his best game came from Los Fresnos. It was a 38-7 win. Check this. He had 21 carries, 225 yards for 3 touchdowns. You know, a man that can just carry the rock and just make something happen. We've seen already a couple explosive plays from him, and here we are again. 2nd and 14. Garcia's going to have it back to the left-hand side, and it's going to be number 31 in the backfield for the SaberCats, Ian Nova.
Yeah, so back-to-back plays. This run defense has kind of established itself after that first drive. After that first drive, Samuel ran up and down the field, threw a pick in the red zone. This time, SaberCats not holding out. For the first 2 plays for the Greyhounds, it's been a combined loss of 7.
So here we are, 3rd and 17. They corrected it. You know, we saw earlier, John, you just mentioned that before they were running the ball down their throat. And then Coach Campbell ended up calling a timeout. The next play, we had an interception, and here they are back. 5:27. Rolling out to the left-hand side. Pressure comes, makes 2 tackles miss. As they try to go for him again, he's still on his feet and eventually gets brought down by 3 SaberCats. That's Atticus De Leon, as the Greyhound punt unit is going to come onto the field.
Yeah, De Leon just tried to roll out left, couldn't find a man, decided to tuck and run, was able to get through 2 or 3 defenders, which was extremely impressive, and then trying to fight forward, but 17 yards to gain from the quarterback point of view is a lot either way.
Yeah, 4th and 11 now. The clock's going to continue to roll. You know, both teams haven't had only one incomplete pass, we'll say that, but the clock has been going fairly quickly here on both sides of the ball. As it looks like the official's going to run onto the field. You know, quick timeout, let him set up quickly. Back to receive is Justin Navarro for the SaberCats. The punt is up and away. A fairly short punt, as it's going to take a SaberCat bounce, go back north into the end zone where the SaberCats will be attempting once again. And they're going to mark them down at the 31-yard line. So 1st and 10 at the Greyhounds 31-yard line. The SaberCats back on offense, John.
Yeah, no, this is great field position. This isn't somewhere you want to be if you're San Benito, losing the field position game against these guys. Now, San Benito's defense did force a turnover last time. They'll look to try to replicate the same magic here.
Yeah, this is a Vela offense who rushes about 200 yards a game, and they pass for about 150. So a fairly balanced offense is what Coach Campbell tries to go for. But when you have workhorses in the backfield and receivers and a quarterback who can sling it, you can do it all. 1st and 10 at the Greyhounds 31. And just before the play gets off, we have a flag, and it's going to be a false start on the SaberCats. So it's going to push them back 5. The first penalty of the game comes. Minor mistake. It's a playoff. They just came off a bye week. You could have corrected that, but the emotions get to you. It's a packed house here at Richard R. Flores Stadium, John.
Definitely. This is only the 2nd home game, I believe, in playoff history for the Vela SaberCats. So it's always nice to play in front of your home people, especially for these seniors, getting play in front of their people for maybe one last time.
Here we go. 4:21. Campbell's going to have another fake, and it's going to be another out. Once again, we saw it go to Rivera the first time, and this time it's intended for number 4, Justin Vega. That falls incomplete as well. So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 15. Not much, but it could have been avoided. It could have been a 2nd and 10 if that was the case.
Yeah, Campbell missing just a bit high those past couple out routes. I want to blame it on nerves, but maybe it's something else. Hopefully he settles down here.
Campbell drops back to pass on a 2nd and 15. He's going to roll out to the right-hand side. Tries to just run with it with his own 2 feet. He's going to be pushed out of bounds back at the original line of scrimmage, I believe. Maybe just a bit short, probably a 3-yard gain. It might bring up a 3rd and 12.
Yeah, San Benito Greyhound offense doing an excellent job so far, just minimizing or putting constant pressure on Campbell here and minimizing the outgain in the yardage.
Yeah, they were just on defense. We're going to talk about one guy that stood out to me when I was taking my notes in just a bit. So 3rd and 11. A quick out to Ted Galvan, and that goes incomplete. Once again, it's going to be a 3 and out for the SaberCats, John. The defense, I say, is going to be led by Eli Trevino. That's their linebacker. He averages about 8.5 tackles a game and about half a sack a game. So he's always in the backfield, and he's always around the football.
Yeah, we can definitely see it here, whether they're trying to run, they're trying to throw. There's definitely pressure everywhere. And there's great coverage in the back end, so it's a really well-rounded San Benito defense here.
4th and 11 for the SaberCats. They're going to go for it. The offense still on the field, and Coach Campbell's going to run in, calling for a timeout just before the play clock expires. We're going to take one as well. We'll be back after this here on Real Sports Live.
I've got a math question for you. When you add tolerance, subtract prejudice, and multiply efforts to treat one another with respect, what do you get? Less division. And school sports have it down to a science. Looking for an example of what can happen when we realize there's more that unites us than divides us? Look no further than high school sports in Texas.
This message presented by the Texas University Interscholastic League and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
The Brownsville... John, we're back. It's 4:01 on the clock. And the SaberCats still on offense. Even after the timeout's called, they're going to go for it. It's 4th and 11 at the Greyhounds' 32-yard line. Campbell's going to drop back to pass. Pressure comes. He's stepping up in the pocket and is going to let one fly. Rivera's wide open in the end zone. And the SaberCats strike first on offense. It's 6-0.
Yeah, no, it was a 3-by-1 formation, 3 receivers on the left side of the formation, 1 down on the right. It seemed like a 4 vertical with a bit of a crossers there, and it crossed up the defensive backs in the backfield. And Rivera, was left wide open near the pylon and walks into the end zone.
Might have been a busted coverage on the Greyhound side of things, but just like Vela does it, they score first. They have 417 points for them, and they've only allowed 62 on the whole season. Pablo Rivera, the one that scored it, he's one of their top scorers here for the SaberCat offense. He has 8 rushing touchdowns, and the rest come from the receiving end, so 5 receiving. So 13 total touchdowns for Pablo Rivera. He adds 1 more next to his resume, and a nice highlight there for the highlight reel.
So early in this game, about 3:54 left to go in this first quarter. Edinburg Vela takes a 7-0 lead over the Greyhounds.
Here we are, both teams back on the extra point. Or not the extra point. They already got the extra point. The Job Juarez kicked it through. But here we go. Kickoff. Job Juarez, the SaberCats, back to receive once again is going to be Corbin, Guy, as well as Garcia. As they're going to kick it the other way, it's going to be out of bounds, and the flag comes in. So it's going to push them up just 5 yards. Not much, but it might make the difference here in this drive for the Greyhounds as they're looking to get into the end zone here.
Yeah, no, definitely try to replicate the formula that worked on the first drive. Well, we'll probably see a little bit more of Jermaine Corbin on this drive, maybe some play-action passes. Yeah, get everyone running out wide, and then eventually try to slash them down the middle.
Yeah, Jermaine Corbin's another one of their top scorers. He has 7 receiving and 15 total touchdowns. So he also plays cornerback, and he plays a tight end, so they could have came from the cornerback position, or they could have just been on kickoff return or wherever. He's a jack of all trades here for the Greyhound offense, or the Greyhound team, you could say it at that.
Yeah, he's definitely the man that they wanted. That they trust the most, and they can put the ball in his hands at any moment. So, but San Benito deciding to make Vela re-kick here. They'll be re-kicking from their own 35.
So, SaberCats re-kicking, John. What's the strategy behind that? You know, declining it and making them re-kick again.
It's purely for they feel like they can once they set up their return, they can get more yardage than where that penalty would have ended up at.
And here they go. They're going to kick it to Guy down in the backfield. He's going to fumble it as the pressure comes in. He might have a lane as he spins out of a tackle, and he needs two guys to beat. He has blockers as well, and he's just going to go out of bounds at the SaberCats' 45-yard line. He maybe could have cut it in for a couple more, but who knows where the other SaberCats would have came from. So here we go. You said the strategy behind it was to get better field position. Guy fumbles it at about the 25, 15-yard line, and he takes it back all the way to the SaberCats' 45.
Yeah, so it pays off immensely. Now they're starting off SaberCat territory, only 45 yards to work. And in that first drive, they did get the 45 yards. They just couldn't find the end zone because they started from the 20.
You're right. Here we go. A drive that would have started back at their own 30-yard line starts here at the SaberCats' 45. It's going to be a rollout play-action pass to the right-hand side. A stiff arm and a big hit comes from Novato in the backfield. That was number 4, Ricky Bettis, on the reception for the Greyhounds. It's going to be a 9-yard gain. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 1 for the Greyhounds out of San Benito High School. John, we were saying before the game that they are 4-0 on the road, looking to make it 5-0. And you said that fans travel well. Well, explain to the people who can't see what this San Benito side looks like.
Yeah, it's sold out. there is not an empty seat here. The only time you see an empty seat is people running up and down to go get something from the concession stand.
Here we go.
Band's loud.
2nd and 1, my bad. Handoff to Garcia. It's going to be Duffner in the back, I believe, as he's going to get a tackle for loss there. He's the one who wrapped him up and didn't let him go. You know, it was one of those, what do you call it, like an alligator. He did a little alligator roll, but not actually did it on there.
Yeah, so now it's going to set up San Benito with a 3rd and 1 here, trying to force their way for the first down here.
That was Garcia, who is their leading rusher for the Greyhounds. His last game was against, well, we'll just say his best game. His best game, he went for 21 carries, 255, and 3 touchdowns. We already said it earlier, and why not say it again? It's an amazing stat for just one night on a 38-7 win. He basically carried that San Benito offense to a victory.
Yeah, and once you, and I'm pretty sure it started early. So once you get a back who starts off the night extremely hot, you let it ride until the wheels fall off.
That is right. A timeout on the field taken by San Benito. Coach Gomez is going to take one, and we're going to take one as well. We'll be back after this here on Real Sports Live.
To provide a safe environment for enriching education. From pre-K3 to early college high school, the award-winning district has advanced its legacy in curriculum, athletics, and fine arts. Teachers are driving the frontier of technology, bringing industry to the classroom. On and off the field, Brownsville ISD students engage in the experiences that make them college and career ready. Brownsville Independent School District, the best choice.
And he throws it.
3rd and 1. It's going to be a handoff to Corbin, John, and he's going to get the first down on a 2-yard carry. That pushes him up. All he needed was 1. They got 2. Why not get an extra yard?
Yeah, Corbin just bullying his way through the middle there. After he got the line to gain, a hard hit there. Nonetheless, 1st and 10 for the Greyhounds.
You said before the drive that they need to get Corbin more involved. He's a big guy, and they got him involved there on a 3rd and 1 situation, right when they needed the first down to keep the drive alive. They give him the ball, and he's lined up in the slot right now. It's De Leon in the backfield. He's going to have a quarterback keeper to the right-hand side, and green grass. SaberCats trying to catch him, and they do. It's number 8, Joshua Garcia, making a tackle all the way down at their own, I want to say that's their 12-yard line, John. So a huge carry there as it's actually their 7-yard line, excuse me. That sets up San Benito with a 1st and goal at their own 7, at the SaberCats 7.
Yeah, huge gain from De Leon off the read option there. Got the SaberCats sleeping, makes them pay immensely.
So a couple of mistakes and one big one right there for Edinburg. Vela. 7 yards to go. They're going to hand it off to Garcia down the middle. He's going to fall down to about the 5-yard line is where they're going to mark him. So a 2-yard carry, and we're under a minute here in the first quarter at Richard R. Flores Stadium. SaberCats still lead by 7, but we'll find out if that changes in 3 more downs, counting this one.
Yeah, now San Benito going to the huddle here. We'll see them break it and probably sprint to the line here. Try to catch Vela off guard.
A little package change, and here they are. You said it. They're in the I formation. They got everyone down on at a 3-point stance. It's going to be De Leon rolling out. He has a man open in the backfield, and it's going to be a touchdown. Number 84, Christopher Troel-Kill. I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, just an excellent call from the San Benito coaching staff. You see them line up in the I formation, you're probably thinking one thing, especially with how run heavy this offense is. You're probably thinking, okay, they're going to go I formation, and they're going to go right through the one gap. And the play action pass catches him off guard, and he finds a man wide open in the end zone.
And the Greyhounds only trail by 1 as the kick is up by Javier Santos and knocks it through. That ties us up at 7. We're going to be back after this here on Real Sports Live with the kickoff in just a moment.
See you later, touchdown. Look for your motors, we're moving forward. Same great service, same great people, same great cars and trucks, and these great white letters. Our vision is crystal clear. Look for your motors. We're on the move.
We're the Lady Cougars, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
And we're back here at Richard R. Flores Stadium. Daylight saving times, John, if it was last week, the sun would barely be setting down here in Edinburg, Texas, but that is not the case. Better for us in the booth. More shade, a little bit cooler in here. We'll say it at that. Currently, it's 79 degrees outside. It feels like 82 with 64% humidity. There's not really that much wind, so these kicks might not, play a factor in tonight's game. Look at me turning into Tim Smith. 19 seconds left. Santos is going to kick it away. Looks like they're offset in the formation. It's going to be a pooch kick to the right side of the field. It's going to be fielded at about the 25-yard line. And he's going to get spun around town and brought down. That was Carlos Tamez on the return. And the SaberCats are going to start drive number 3 at their own 30-yard line.
Yeah, it's the San Benito defense steps up. Excuse me. They stepped up nicely, and then on 4th down, the SaberCats able to find a hole in the defense there and scored for 6 on short territory. Now they'll make them go 70 yards here.
70 yards for pay dirt, and we'll see if the SaberCats can do it. Maybe one play, and we'll take it to the second. We'll see what the case is. Rivera in motion. Handoff to Galvan on the left side, and he's going to be brought down for a 3-yard loss. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 13, as it looks like the SaberCats are just going to take this one down to the second quarter, as that was the last play of the first. They're going to switch sides here, and we're going to take a quick break as they do so, because they're going to meet on the sidelines for just a bit. So we're going to be back once they're back on offense and once everything is set and good to go here on Real Sports Live.
Beach, bay, or both. Sun rises and sunsets daily. Memories made all day. Live music and great food round out your visit. So why wait? SoPadre.com.
We are the Harlingen Lady Cardinals, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
And here we are back. The SaberCats on the field for the offense as they are in the huddle, about to break it. And the defense for the Greyhounds lined up in the huddle, they're already on their own defensive formation. As we're going, SaberCats going south now, southbound to the south end zone. As Campbell's going to roll out to the right-hand side, he's going to fire a strike to Tamez, and it's going to be caught. Greyhound fans saying it was incomplete, but you know, they're not down in the field, John. They can't see it as clear as the officials can.
Yeah, a sliding catch, it was even hard to see from up here. So a sliding catch from Tamez there. It's going to set up a 3rd and about 2 for the SaberCats.
Yeah, Campbell lasered that one through 2 Greyhound defenders and found Tamez right for the reception. So here we are, 3rd and 2 already. I forgot we switched possessions. It's going to be a handoff down the middle as the pile pushes forward for a 1st down. I believe that's going to be Galvan on the carry. It's not. It's actually going to be number 10 on the carry, Ryan Clow. John, I know you know a little bit about him.
Yeah, Clow is he's their fullback. They like to use him in the H-back. He gets up tight, and they run the triple option out of him. This time they just give it to him right up the middle and say, hey, go get us 2 yards.
More of his power back, short yard situation back. We've seen him a lot in the inside the 10, inside the 5-yard line when they're about to score. And here we see him on a 3rd and 2. So a 1st and 10 now. Rivera in motion to the opposite side of the formation. Campbell's dropping back to pass. Pressure comes, and he's going to be brought down as the Greyhounds are there for it. Number 28, Mauricio Padilla. The 2nd time we call his name today. He already has a tackle for loss, and here we are once again. He has a 2nd one. This time it's a sack.
Yeah, Padilla chases him down all the way from the backside. He runs all the way around the tackle. He gets around the edge and brings down Campbell for a loss of about 11, maybe 12.
Maybe 10. They're going to mark it at a 2nd and 20 at their own 32-yard line. As the clock rolls down, we're down to about the 10-minute mark here in quarter number 2. It's Campbell once again. He's going to hand it off to Galvan on the right-hand side. Thought he had a hole, but it closed quickly as it was Nova Beran there for it. Beharan, excuse me.
Yeah, the San Benito defense looking extremely nice right now. Forces a big loss on 1st down. Now it forces a minimal gain of about 3 on 2nd down. And now it sets up 3rd and extremely long for the SaberCats.
That is very true. Here they are, 3rd and 17 with about 9:30 and counting here in quarter number 2. And the SaberCats need to find a play in their arsenal to just let one loose, maybe take a shot downfield or take it to 4th down, put it away. John, what do you think?
Yeah, they definitely got to push something down the field here. They've got the athletes to do it. Mistimed the snap there.
Campbell rolling out once again. Pressure comes and a huge tackle. And guess who it is, John? Number 28, Mauricio Padilla, once again making his presence known in this defense. We have written down that it's Eli Trevino. We haven't called his name, but Padilla stepping up in his position.
Yeah, Padilla doing an excellent job so far here, taking over the game. In a sense, that's already his 2nd sack. We're barely a couple minutes into the 2nd quarter.
There we are, 8:43, 8:45 exactly in this quarter. And it's a 4th and 31 for the SaberCats. It is number 4, the receiver, Justin Vega, back to punt it away to the Greyhounds. It's Corbin who's going to be back to receive, as well as Guy. It's going to take a SaberCat bounce. It's going to go over to the Greyhound side. A nice punt there. I guess you could say he flipped the field on that possession. It's across the 50. And the fans for the Greyhounds on their feet. They're excited for this one.
Yeah, they absolutely should be. Excuse me. This defense comes out and makes a huge stop, and puts Vela in a huge deficit there. And now their defense starting to roll. Need to get this offense going to take the lead here.
A possession that Vela thought they were going to go down and score because they figured out the formula, I guess you could say, in their 2nd drive. That got them into the end zone. And here we are in drive number 3. They couldn't get it done, but now that means the Greyhounds have their 3rd drive to figure something out. First one ended in an interception. 2nd one in a punt. Here's number 3. 1st and 10 is going to be a jet sweep to Corbin, and the defense is there for it. They read it good. They watched their film. That's number 99, Jake Duffner, making the tackle as it goes for about 3 yards.
Yeah, gain of 3 for Corbin there and the Greyhounds. It seemed that they had a man in the backfield. Corbin made a cut up field, able to push through a couple defenders and finally gets wrapped up, brought down around the 41.
So it brings up a 2nd and 7 at their own 41-yard line. The clock continues to roll down, 7:50 and counting here at Richard R. Flores Stadium. It's going to be another handoff. This time Garcia's going to get it. It's not going to go for much, maybe 3 yards. I think the official's being a little bit too generous here. So it might bring up a 3rd and about 4 for the Greyhounds. Are we in 4th down territory, John?
If you're the road team, more than likely trying to send a message early, trying to take a lead before the half, all that sort of stuff comes into play. If you're the home team, not really, just because you are at home. But it'll be interesting what San Benito does decide to do here.
And the feeling here, it looks like both teams are on the home side. You know, both sides are packed to the top from east to west or north to south, up and down. So it might be a home field atmosphere for both sides of the ball, as it looks like San Benito is going to take a timeout here. It's going to stop the clock with 7:01. So we're going to take one as well. Be back after this and a quick message from our sponsors here on Real Sports Live.
University Kingsville. We are a family. We support each other through thick and thin. We work together, grow together, excel together. We inspire each other to become the great minds of the future. We are here to ensure you succeed. Apply today to get started. This is your time.
Timeout is over, John. The Greyhounds getting a couple extra seconds in the huddle, trying to figure something out on this 3rd and 4 play. What do you think they go for here?
It'd probably be a play-action pass, try to catch something in the flats. It's worked for them before in the past, and they'll try to find it back here again.
Looks like we're going to have De Leon in the backfield at quarterback, as well as Garcia and Corbin. Same formation as the SaberCats is going to be a read option to Corbin. He needs one man to make miss, and he's not even going to make it back to the original line of scrimmage. He's going to be brought down for a loss of 2. That was number 11, Miguel Ibarra, the defensive back, making a play in the backfield, John.
Yeah, excellent job. It seemed the SaberCats came out in nickel package, just prepared for a pass. Extra defensive back out there, makes the tackle out in space. Seemed Corbin might have tripped up on his own feet. Nonetheless, Ibarra will get credit for the tackle for that.
Indeed, he will. It's a 4th and 6, so they lost 2 on that one. And the clock continues to roll down. 6:30. We're about to head to halftime very, very soon. That's going to be number 7 back to receive, Justin Navarro, once again. New punter in as it's going to get blocked, and the SaberCats are going to have it. They're going to return it, and it's going to be number 95 on it, Joshua Gallegos. The punt gets blocked, John. And now the SaberCats, they thought they were going to get it down at their own territory. But here they are in Greyhound territory at the Greyhounds' 39-yard line with a 1st and 10.
Yeah, their special teams has done an excellent job all year. This isn't the first time that we've seen a block punt from them on that special teams unit. So they set up their offense in great field position here, trying to retake the lead.
And a couple of those block punts in the earlier this season, they've turned into touchdowns and also punt returns. As Navarro's a hell of a returner for himself. You know, he had a couple called back in their last game, but that was the pass. Rivera's going to get the handoff to the right-hand side, and he's going to go out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. And that's where the SaberCats are going to start their 2nd down with a 2nd and 4, 6-yard carry there.
Yeah, now we see Pablo P.J. Rivera out of the backfield. A little bit of a change of pace there. As we had gotten used to seeing Galvan most of the year. Now they're throwing Rivera back there, likely a little bit more of a speed back there.
And here we go, full house formation in the backfield for the SaberCats. They motion out Galvan, and they're going to hand it off to Clow. 4 yards is all they need for a 1st down, and it looks like Clow's going to get that and a bit more as well. As the SaberCats move the chains once again, they're going to spot him down at about the 28-yard line with a 1st and 10.
Yeah, 1st and 10 for Clow once again. 2nd time they've gotten him the ball in a situation with that many yardage. Now it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 28.
Another full house formation. They motion out Galvan to get behind the tight end. Rivera's going to get the handoff to the left-hand side. He has a couple of lead blockers, and it looks like the Greyhounds almost stripped that ball out of Galvan's hand, or out of Rivera's hands, but he was able to hold on to it.
Yeah, Rivera's he's a tough runner. He's extremely hard to bring down. And if you want to go for the ball, you better be ready to go for a ride.
Yeah, it's very true. He was taking defenders down for a couple more yards after the initial point of contact. So we're down to 5 minutes here in quarter number 2. The SaberCats moving the ball, same play the last 3 times. Clou's going to get it down the middle, has a lane and more. All the way down to about the 15-yard line as the clock continues to roll. The official says no sign in stopping, even though they got to move the chains. We're down to 4:40. A 1st and 10. SaberCats only need 15 yards to punch it in once again.
Yeah, SaberCats putting together a nice little drive here, and it's mainly been all running plays. Haven't seen them throw a pass here. Could see one here.
That's been the story of these two teams. Only one pass play as they're going to get it to Rivera once again. Hurdles a defender over the line, and he gets it down for a nice little 3-yard carry. It might be a 2nd and 10 up next. A 2nd and 8, so it was actually for 2.
Vela bringing in a couple of subs. They have some every player. It's a new style offense for the SaberCats. As now they go to the huddle. As it's been extremely different from the past couple of years. They've been a full-on spread unit, no huddle, and we're gonna score as many points as we can. This year they go to the huddle, and it's paid off well for them.
Rivera gets a handoff to the left-hand side. He's going to make it down to the 10-yard line, a 2-yard carry, I believe, unless they mark him down at the 11, which it looks like they might do. So it might just bring up a 1-yard carry. It's a 3rd and 6. John, you mentioned the huddling of the offense now. I feel like against a team like the Greyhounds, who also run the ball and want to look for more ball control, you have to do that, especially in a game in a bi-district playoffs that means something to go to the next round.
No, that definitely does make a lot of sense. Ball control, it gives some rest here. It looks like we're going to have a timeout on the Greyhounds.
Greyhounds once again taking a timeout. Chase Campbell was not ready for that snap. If it would have been snapped to hit his thigh as Galvan motioned out. So a timeout on the field with 3:16. We're going to take one as well. We'll be back after this here on Real Sports Live.
See you later, touchdown.
I love what I do. I really
love what
do.
I'm doing. I love children.
One of the most important things to do is to love your students.
Imagine teachers like these helping your child prepare to change the world. Take a closer look at Mission CISD.
We're the Harlingen and South Lady Hawks, and you're watching Real Sports Live. Awesome!
Plan your escape. Beach, bay, or both. Sunrises and sunsets daily. Memories made all day. Live music and great food round out your visit. So why wait? SoPadre.com.
And we're back here after the timeout. 3:16, 3rd and 6. 11 yards to go for the SaberCats. They need 6 yards for a fresh set. This is going to be Campbell with Clow and Galvan in the backfield. They're going to motion out once again. He's going to have Rivera in the flats. 2 guys there, and the Greyhounds are going to be taking Rivera down at the 11-yard line. A no gain. It looks like the field goal units coming back onto the field for Edinburg Vela.
Yeah, great job here by the Greyhounds defense. They able to apply some pressure to Campbell. Therefore, he's unable to look down the field. He's got to fire to the first route, and that was going to be PJ Rivera out in the flats.
So that play goes for nothing. It brings up a 4th and 6 as we're looking for about a 21-yarder, maybe more. We're going to add a 28-yard field goal here, and Wattis is barely going to get that one through the uprights as he makes it. And the SaberCats take the lead 10-7. We're going to take another break, and we're going to be back here with the kickoff in just a bit here on Real Sports Live.
Service is attitude. How far are we willing to go to service our community, our dealership here for you, and you? Sky's the limit.
We're the Ray Texans, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Josh Moody and Coach Rolly Gonzalez of Josh Moody Loans are former Harlingen Cardinals and would like to wish all the teams good luck in tonight's games.
And we're back here with the kickoff. Juarez is lining up. And you got, of course, you got Guy, you have Garcia, and you have Corbin back deep to receive. Is this going to be a pooch kick to Garcia? He's going to field it at about the 15-yard line. He's going to take it out. Straight up the sideline, hurdles a man, stays on his feet for a couple more. And the Greyhound fans on their feet cheering because they've never seen anything like it. An acrobatic move there for Garcia. Sets up the Greyhounds with a 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line on what might be the final possession or the final drive of the first half, John.
Yeah, this half has gone by extremely fast, and it's largely like what you said. A lot of clock control on both sides. Vela comes with points on that last drive. We'll see if the Greyhounds use up all 2 minutes here, or they can get a one play drive here.
It's very iffy with these Greyhounds. You know, like you said, they can break it loose for a big play. They got 4 seconds left on the play clock. They need to snap it quick. They get it off. De Leon hands it off to Garcia, and Jake Duffner is in the backfield once again for the SaberCats.
Yeah, Duffner's just and I was watching him the whole play, and he read it the whole way. He was looking for read options, saw the handoff, took off right to the tailback, chased him down for a loss of 1.
So it brings up a 2nd and 11 as we head down to the 2-minute warning. But there's no 2-minute warning in high school, so they're just going to roll right through it as it goes down to 1:53 and counting. Ball control has been the story of the first half for these two teams, and that's not something we usually see out of John Campbell's offense. More of Coach Gomez's, because, you know, they're a run-heavy team. As Corbin's going to get the jet sweep here, it's going to be a tackle, and it is no other than number 11, Miguel Ibarra. So back to what we were saying about, you know, ball control. You see it from the Greyhounds more as they are more a run-heavy team. But the SaberCats, they usually light up the scoreboard come the first half. Second half, they play all the backups. But they're only leading by 3 here in a 10-7 ball game, as we only got a minute left to play in the second quarter.
Yeah, this San Benito Greyhound defense definitely stepped up to the task. They've done an excellent job this whole first half of really containing the SaberCats and limiting what they can and can't do.
And we know they can run and they can throw, and we haven't seen much throwing, but we've seen a lot of running. De Leon's going to read option the motion for Corbin. And who it is, John, guess. Number 99, Jake Duffner in the backfield once again for the SaberCats.
Yeah, no, just a huge play there. Duffner really keying in on this stop here. We have a timeout from the SaberCats. It's going to leave us with 49 seconds left. I was thinking to myself, I was wondering why we hadn't seen a couple more. Just realized he had one more timeout. He had to burn a couple.
Both teams have no timeouts, and we were talking when the SaberCats took their second one that, you know, it's very unusual to see Coach Campbell even use his timeouts at all. But 2 timeouts he took the second one came like with 4 minutes in the first quarter, and that's something we just don't see especially for Vela. You know, they had the bye week last week. They had a lot of time to prepare, but they had to wait until Friday to figure out who their matchup was. I'm sure they were like, you know what, these couple of days we're going to go over who was the other team that they were eyeing.
It was San Benito and Westlaco.
So I believe, yeah, these couple of days we're going over Westlaco. These next couple of days we're going over San Benito, and we're just going to see how they duke it out and who we're going to play next. Pressure comes as the San Benito Greyhounds punt it away. They're looking for the flag as it was number 8, Joshua Garcia, rushing into the backfield, hits the punter, but no flag on the field. Everyone's reaching in their pockets saying they got a flag, and the boos start rolling in from San Benito.
I believe the back judge ruled him down.
So they're going to stop the play, but it wasn't because of the flag from the punter or quote-unquote flag. They're actually saying it because Justin Navarro caught a fair catch but still advanced the ball. They're not going to penalize him, but they're just going to mark him down wherever he caught it.
And I can see San Benito's argument because that is supposed to be a penalty. A little bit surprised we don't see one there.
Rivera in motion looking for a jet sweep. Campbell's dropping back to pass. Shakes off one defender but doesn't do it for the other. Number 34, Robert Trevino, gets Campbell down, and he's slow to get up, John. And the fans jump on their feet and cheer as they're cheering. Campbell's able to get up, but looks like he's going to run to the sideline. We'll see what play comes next.
Likely going to see maybe a couple kneel downs just to get it to the end of the half.
Looks like quarterback, or the second quarterback on the roster, Bobby Garcia's coming in. He's a junior. He's going to be Campbell's predecessor for next year. He's in at quarterback right now. We only got 12 seconds left. A handoff to Galvan to the right-hand side, and it looks like that's going to take us to the half. And indeed it is. So that does it for the first half here, John. 10-7. Has anything stood out to you? I mean, a lot has, but what do you stood out to you the most?
That San Benito Greyhound defense, they've done an excellent job, man. It's very hard to stop the Vela offense, and they've really done a great job. It says Vela will get the ball after the half, but San Benito's recipe right now is really paying dividends, and there's not much the SaberCats can really do. Because if they want to drop back the pass, there's plenty of pressure coming from both edges here, and we've called Mauricio's name a couple of times already.
Yeah, he already has 2 sacks. I don't know if you've been writing him down, but for sure 2 sacks, and I know he's already had a tackle for loss. So, I mean, he's been all over the backfield for the SaberCats. They have no answer for him. They can only block 5, and he's probably the 6th man coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, so that Greyhound defense done an excellent job. The second half, I think both teams will make huge adjustments on offense, and both teams will start to get their offense rolling.
Both teams need to make adjustments. It's a low-scoring game. Not much we see for either side of the ball. I mean, we took a rundown of both teams, their season. I have it right here. The SaberCats, they won their first game 42-6. We'll just call this the road to the bi-district playoffs, John. That's what we're going to call this little segment right here. So it was a 42-6 win against McAllen Memorial. I believe the second or third time they played them. And everyone's always been like, hey, McAllen Memorial is this, McAllen Memorial that. And Edinburg Vela, 2 of the top teams in the valley, they're like, you know what, let's finally face off and let's settle this. It looks like Vela came out on top. It was a 42-6 win. Then we were here for this game, the Harlingen Cardinal game. It was 30-3. We both came in. It was you, me, and Kevin Nato. And we were like, you know what, this game might be a field goal, a one-possession game. We just couldn't, really figure out what's the outcome of the game is going to be because, the Harlingen's on one of the top teams in the valley as well. And the SaberCats won that one 30-3. We look ahead next week, a 24-0 win in the first district game for PSJ, or for the SaberCats against PSJ North. Another tough-fought battle there. I know their quarterback went down, but able to shut out a PSJ North offense like that, it says a lot about the SaberCat defense. Then a couple big wins, they had La Jolla, was 69-7, Edinburg North 63-12, Edinburg High School 48-7, PSJ Bears 51-13, and they had a forced win against Waters Lincoln. So that one came early on Monday. They said it was COVID protocols that happened over there in their school district. And then Economides is a 55-7 win, and of course their last game that we covered, it was a 35-7 win over Mission High School. Then they had a bye week, and here we are now, 10-7 at halftime against a San Benito, team like this that has potential, that could have won their district. Those 2 losses, it was, up in the air, it was iffy, as they weren't big losses. Like Harlingen South, it was 28-21 and 17-0 against Harlingen. I'll let you talk about the Greyhounds on how their season went.
Yeah, the Greyhounds at the beginning of the season, a lot of people questioned, well, hey man, they might be just as good, if not better than Vela, and that was the narrative going around. And they beat up some pretty good teams. They beat Los Fresnos 38-7, at home in San Benito. Schertz Clemens came on the road, came to San Benito, and San Benito beats them 13-7 in a grueling matchup. They blow out Mission Veterans High School. I had Coach Gilpin on the show the other day. He talked about how that game was a huge teaching point for the Patriots. There, they win that one 51-0. They roll over Brownsville Hannah 49-21. So they go into the Harlingen South game 5-0. And they barely lose that one 28-21. Lose the next week as well to Harlingen 17-0. Down in North, Rivera and Westco were their final 3 opponents. Down in North and Rivera, not much of a real matchup there. San Benito really put it on them. And in that Westco game, that last game of the season for San Benito was really their first playoff game. So they've been in playoff mode since last week, as they had to win and get in that one. And they kind of steamroll Westco, go 26-3. So they're just a really, really good ball club. And when we're seeing it here, this is Vela's toughest test so far.
And that is very true. I mean, we haven't seen a game like this. I mean, it's probably the PSG North game, but, we weren't there for that one, where the halftime score was like this. 10-7. They only lead by 3 points. Not much we've seen. They've held all of their opponents in total in the season to 62 points. Their biggest win, or their biggest point margin, I guess you could say, the most points they allowed, we'll say it like that, was against PSG Bears. They only allowed 13 points there. And then up next was Edinburg North. They allowed 12 points there. So it shows what this defense can do. We already mentioned their defense. We mentioned Jake Duffner. They have playmakers everywhere. Navarro can make a play. I know they have Luna in the backfield. He can get in the backfield as well. And then we go to the offense and their quarterback, an outstanding quarterback in Chase Campbell. He averages about 164 yards a game. He has 22 passing touchdowns on the season and 4 interceptions. None tonight, but we'll see if anything changes. They're in the locker room right now making adjustments, and his best game was against Edinburg North. He was 17 for 24, 246 yards, 4 touchdowns, and clean on interceptions. No interceptions on that night. It was a 63-12 win over Edinburg North. So they have playmakers on the offense and defense, as well as San Benito. So 2 evenly matched teams going at it. We'll see it on the scoreboard right now. It's like nothing ever happened when we go into the third quarter.
Yeah, no, this is definitely one of the better games that we've gotten to call together. Vela really meeting their match here. I'd like to see Coach Campbell make his adjustments. I'd assume we'll probably see more of a max protect situation from the SaberCats as the pressure's really starting to get into the backfield. More 2 sacks alone from Mauricio Padilla, a couple more from some other players, but that pressure really starting to eat up Edinburg Vela and what they're trying to do and push the ball down the field. So I'd like to see a couple adjustments from the offense there, and then for the San Benito, it's more misdirection for them. The more they can try to misdirect the Edinburg Vela defense, the more success they will have.
And we've seen that here. They've tried jet sweeps. They tried counters. They had a couple bootlegs that's gone for yards. So we'll see what we see more in the second half, if it's the same to the first half or they switch up the offense just a bit. So, only time will tell. There's 21 minutes left in the halftime. San Benito's band is on the field right now. Then Vela's band is going to come on. And then game time once again, and we're going to find out who's moving on to the next round of playoffs. Next round is the winner of Del Rio versus San Antonio Taft. That game is happening tomorrow, Friday, November 12th at 7 p.m. in San Antonio. So if you want to figure it out, just try and log on, see who's Vela's going to play next. When that game's going on, see how the game's going. You can probably find it somewhere, track it somewhere, just if you're interested. If not, we'll have it posted come Monday, and here it goes. So halftime, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back for the third quarter here on Real Sports Live in about 21 minutes.
We envision that San Perlita ISD will help our students acquire the necessary knowledge, communication, and problem-solving skills through a variety of educational and social experiences to become productive citizens in our global society. Be a part of the change to help create a community where we guide each other to our unlimited potential.
We are Santa Rosa, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
There is a feeling you get when you walk onto a campus.
A sense of love, compassion, and dedication.
An environment that inspires each of our HCISD family members
to do their best and to be their best.
We ground our education on strong character, and together, we will always persist towards the future.
We are a district of choice.
A district of innovation.
And a district of excellence.
We are HCISD.
We are Edinburg, Vela, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Sherryland ISD, a nationally recognized district focusing on quality and rigorous instruction where every child is immersed in a culture of academic success. A district dedicated to preparing our youth for the future. Our mission is to inspire, educate, and empower all students to reach their full potential and become leaders of the highest moral character. Sherryland ISD, excellence is our tradition.
Vela, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Uniforms, etc., you're gonna find the opportunity to purchase the best high-quality scrubs. Soon after I learned about how the EDC was helping out the community, and so I did meet with Ms. Castillo. She made it very easy, very friendly, and she walked me every step of the way. I couldn't have done it without their help.
Come visit our new store in downtown Harlingen. We have furniture, appliances, clothes, collectibles, and more. All funds collected support the Sunny Glen Children's Home. Come see us at Vintage on Jackson at First and Jackson in Harlingen.
I love what I do. I really
love what
do.
I'm doing. I love children.
One of the most important things to do is to love your students.
Imagine teachers like these helping your child prepare to change the world. Take a closer look at Mission CISD.
This game is brought to you in part by the Concession Stand in Santa Rosa, a locally owned business providing a terrific atmosphere before or after the games and supporting athletes of all ages. When you're in Santa Rosa, be sure to stop by the Concession Stand and choose from the wide assortment of goodies. An advertising partner with Rio Sports Live is the Concession Stand. Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles? How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
We are La Villa, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Whether you're visiting or vacationing at South Padre Island, be sure to book your place to stay with Island Services. Locally owned for over 40 years. Trusted, reliable for condo and beach house rentals. Call and visit the website today. Island Services.
We are the Harlingen Cardinals, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Hi, I'm Rodolfo Rodriguez, and I'm a partner with New York Life Insurance Company. For 170 years, New York Life has built a reputation for building some of the finest agents in the industry. I help to manage that process from day one. If you're looking to challenge yourself and build an insurance and financial service business, then I would like to show you how I can help.
Aquí, en la Universidad de Texas A&M Kingsville, somos una familia. Nosotros nos apoyamos. Trabajamos juntos. Crecemos juntos. Triunfamos juntos. Nos inspiramos los unos a los otros para convertirnos en las grandes mentes del futuro. Estamos aquí para asegurarnos que tú triunfes. Aplica hoy para empezar. Es tu momento.
Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles, located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, is filled with vintage items, collectibles, and a selection of vinyl records that's as good as it gets. Every shelf, every aisle, and table is filled daily by a number of vendors that ensures that something here just might be the item you have to have. The vinyl record area helps bring an added atmosphere that makes for the fun trip when stepping back in time with the memories. Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles in San Benito.
Are you worried how 2020 has impacted your teen's social development? We are too. Want to know what might help? Participating in the performing arts in high school. It's been hard being a teenager recently. Hard to cope, hard to keep up, hard not to feel like you're missing out. Everything's different and nobody knows what's next. Encouraging your son or daughter to participate in performing arts can really help. Those are high school activities like band, orchestra, choir, theater, speech, and debate. They'll make new friends, develop confidence, and feel the satisfaction of being part of a team. Participation in the performing arts aren't a cure-all, and they certainly won't make the pandemic go away. But they will make the teenagers in your family feel like they're part of something special. This message presented by the NFHS and the Texas University Interscholastic League.
I've got a math question for you. When you add tolerance, subtract prejudice, and multiply efforts to treat one another with respect, what do you get? Less division. And school sports have it down to a science. Looking for an example of what can happen when we realize there's more that unites us than divides us? Look no further than high school sports in Texas.
This message presented by the Texas University Interscholastic League and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
The Brownsville Independent School District continues to provide a safe environment for enriching education. From pre-K3 to early college high school, the award-winning district has advanced its legacy in curriculum, athletics, and fine arts. Teachers are driving the frontier of technology, bringing industry to the classroom. On and off the field, Brownsville ISD students engage in the experiences that make them college and career ready. Brownsville Independent School District, the best choice.
And he throws it down. Hey! See you later, touchdown.
And look for your motors, we're moving forward. Same great service, same great people, same great cars and trucks, and these great white letters. Our vision is crystal clear. Look for your motors. We're on the move.
Plan your escape. Beach, bay, or both. Sunrises and sunsets daily. Memories made all day. Live music and great food round out your visit. So why wait? SoPadre.com.
We are the Harlingen Lady Cardinals and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Here at Texas A&M University, Kingsville, we are a family. We support each other through thick and thin. We work together, grow together, excel together. We inspire each other to become the great minds of the future. We are here to ensure you succeed. Apply today to get started. This is your time.
And he throws it down. Hey! See you later, touchdown.
I love what I do. I really
love what
do.
I'm doing. I love children.
One of the most important things to do is to love your students.
Imagine teachers like these helping your child prepare to change the world. Take a closer look at Mission CISD.
We're the Harlingen South Lady Hawks and you're watching Real Sports Live. Awesome!
Plan your escape. Beach, bay, or both. Sunrises and sunsets daily. Memories made all day. Live music and great food round out your visit. So why wait? SoPadre.com.
Service is attitude. How far are we willing to go to service our community, our dealership here for you, and you? Sky's the limit.
We're the Red Texans, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Josh Moody and Coach Rolly Gonzalez of Josh Moody Loans are former Harlingen Cardinals and would like to wish all the teams good luck in tonight's games.
We envision that San Perlita ISD will help our students acquire the necessary knowledge, communication, and problem-solving skills through a variety of educational and social experiences to become productive citizens in our global society. Be a part of the change to help create a community where we guide each other to our unlimited potential.
We are Santa Rosa, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
There is a feeling you get when you walk onto a campus.
A sense of love, compassion, and dedication.
An environment that inspires each of our HCISD family members
to do their best and to be their best.
We ground our education on strong character, and together, we will always persist towards the future.
We are a district of choice.
A district of innovation.
And a district of excellence.
We are HCISD.
We are Edinburg, Vela, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Sherryland ISD, a nationally recognized district focusing on quality and rigorous instruction where every child is immersed in a culture of academic success. A district dedicated to preparing our youth for the future. Our mission is to inspire, educate, and empower all students to reach their full potential and become leaders of the highest moral character. Sherryland ISD, excellence is our tradition.
We are La Villa, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Uniforms, etc., you're gonna find the opportunity to purchase the best high-quality scrubs. Soon after I learned about how the EDC was helping out the community, and so I did meet with Ms. Castillo. She made it very easy, very friendly, and she walked me every step of the way. I couldn't have done it without their help.
Come visit our new store in downtown Harlingen. We have furniture, appliances, clothes, collectibles, and more. All funds collected support the Sunny Glen Children's Home. Come see us at Vintage on Jackson at First and Jackson in Harlingen.
I love what I do. I really
love what
do.
I'm doing. I love children. One of the most important things to do is to love your students.
Imagine teachers like these helping your child prepare to change the world. Take a closer look at Mission CISD.
This game is brought to you in part by the Concession Stand in Santa Rosa, a locally owned business providing a terrific atmosphere before or after the games and supporting athletes of all ages. When you're in Santa Rosa, be sure to stop by the Concession Stand and choose from the wide assortment of goodies. An advertising partner with Rio Sports Live is the Concession Stand. Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles? How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
We are La Villa, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Whether you're visiting or vacationing at South Padre Island, be sure to book your place to stay with Island Services. Locally owned for over 40 years. Trusted, reliable for condo and beach house rentals. Call and visit the website today. Island Services.
We are the Harlingen Cardinals, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Hi, I'm Rod Rodriguez, and I'm a partner with New York Life Insurance Company. For 170 years, New York Life has built a reputation for building some of the finest agents in the industry. I help to manage that process from day one. If you're looking to challenge yourself and build an insurance and financial service business, then I would like to show you how I can help.
We're Los Retos Volleyball, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Aquí, en la Universidad de Texas A&M Kingsville, somos una familia. Nosotros nos apoyamos. Trabajamos juntos. Crecemos juntos. Triunfamos juntos. Nos inspiramos los unos a los otros para convertirnos en las grandes mentes del futuro. Estamos aquí para asegurarnos que tú triunfes. Aplica hoy para empezar. Es tu momento.
Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles, located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, is filled with vintage items, collectibles, and a selection of vinyl records that's as good as it gets. Every shelf, every aisle, and table is filled daily by a number of vendors that ensures that something here just might be the item you have to have. The vinyl record area helps bring an added atmosphere that makes for the fun trip when stepping back in time with the memories. Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles in San Benito.
Are you worried how 2020 has impacted your teen's social development? We are too. Want to know what might help? Participating in the performing arts in high school. It's been hard being a teenager recently. Hard to cope, hard to keep up, hard not to feel like you're missing out. Everything's different and nobody knows what's next. Encouraging your son or daughter to participate in performing arts can really help. Those are high school activities like band, orchestra, choir, theater, speech, and debate. They'll make new friends, develop confidence, and feel the satisfaction of being part of a team. Participation in the performing arts aren't a cure-all, and they certainly won't make the pandemic go away. But they will make the teenagers in your family feel like they're part of something special. This message presented by the NFHS and the Texas University Interscholastic League.
I've got a math question for you. When you add tolerance, subtract prejudice, and multiply efforts to treat one another with respect, what do you get? Less division. And school sports have it down to a science. Looking for an example of what can happen when we realize there's more that unites us than divides us? Look no further than high school sports in Texas.
This message presented by the Texas University Interscholastic League and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
The Brownsville Independent School District continues to provide a safe environment for enriching education. From pre-K3 to early college high school, the award-winning district has advanced its legacy in curriculum, athletics, and fine arts. Teachers are driving the frontier of technology, bringing industry to the classroom. On and off the field, Brownsville ISD students engage in the experiences that make them college and career ready. Brownsville Independent School District, the best choice.
And he throws it down. Hey! See you later, touchdown.
And Luke for your motors, we're moving forward. Same great service, same great people, same great cars and trucks, and these great white letters. Our vision is crystal clear. Luke for your motors, we're on the move.
We're the Lady Cougars and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Plan your escape. Beach, bay, or both. Sunrises and sunsets daily. Memories made all day. Live music and great food round out your visit. So why wait? SoPadre.com.
We are the Harlingen Lady Cardinals and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Here at Texas A&M University, Kingsville, we are a family. We support each other through thick and thin. We work together, grow together, excel together. We inspire each other to become the great minds of the future. We are here to ensure you succeed. Apply today to get started. This is your time.
And he throws it down. Hey! See you later, touchdown.
I love what I do. I
love
really
what
do.
I'm doing. I love children. One of the most important things to do is to love your students.
Imagine teachers like these helping your child prepare to change the world. Take a closer look at Mission CISD.
We're the Harlingen South Lady Hawks and you're watching Real Sports Live. Awesome!
Plan your escape. Beach, bay, or both. Sunrises and sunsets daily. Memories made all day. Live music and great food round out your visit. So why wait? SoPadre.com.
Service is attitude. How far are we willing to go to service our community, our dealership here for you, and you? Sky's the limit.
We're the Ray Texans, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Josh Moody and Coach Rolly Gonzalez.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to Real Sports Live. Halftime has concluded. The Greyhounds just ran out their tuttle. The SaberCats now running out of theirs. And here we are, 10-7. The SaberCats lead by only 3, John. They went into halftime. We said, hey, they need to make some adjustments, and they need to make them quick because a lot's on the line here for this game to advance to the next round. What do you think is going to change here on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, no, for Vela, it's going to be more sticking to the same, keeping your eyes, sticking to your assignment on defense. Offensively, keep bringing in a couple more guys to block and keep Campbell off his back. He was on his back a lot in that first half. Took a huge shot late in the first half, able to get up, walk off under his own power. We'll see if it's going to affect him here in the second half. But for the Greyhounds defensively, keep it up. You know, you're doing an excellent job. You're pressuring Campbell from everywhere. You're really just getting after him, and it's showing because he's in constant pressure. He has to move around. We usually don't see him move around as much as we have tonight. So it's a great job from this Greyhound defense, and offensively just continue to run your offense. Don't get discouraged. The plays will come.
Yeah. So we look back at last year during the break, and we're talking. We're like, hey, I don't think San Benito went too deep in their playoff run. They were a one and done team last year. They lost 27-18 against Mission. So they're not looking for a repeat of that. They want to advance to the next round. As for Vela, they've been going to they've been 3 deep the last couple of years for as long as we can remember. And here they are. They kick it off, a breakaway tackle right there as Tamez takes that all the way down to about the 39-yard line. On the tackle was Maldonado there.
Yeah, Tamez with an excellent return there. Cut it right up the middle. Tried to break it outside. Malachi Maldonado able to get the shoestring tackle there. Great open field tackle. And really prevented the touchdown there.
So the SaberCats are going to start their first drive of the second half at their own 39-yard line with a 1st and 10. So a one-and-done team last year for the Greyhounds, and we'll find out in 24 minutes if they are going to repeat that or if they're going to take the next step and move on to the second round of the playoffs. Campbell dropping back to pass, quick out to to Vega, I believe, on the reception there. And Vega's going to get a nice little pitch and catch, a little quick out route. Pressure was coming. We mentioned the pressure that San Benito applies on that SaberCat offense, and we saw it right there. Campbell barely able to get the ball away.
Yeah, and that's because it was a quick 1-2-3. It was a quick 3-step drop. So the pressure's still coming for the Greyhounds. Campbell and the company need to get rid of the ball quick here.
2nd and 5. They're going to hand it off to Rivera to the left-hand side. Has blockers downfield and gets pushed out of bounds in the Greyhound 45-yard line. We saw him in the receiver position late in the second quarter. He went to back in the backfield with Chase Campbell, and here we go. He breaks it up for a nice, huge chunk of yardage on the second play of the second half.
Yeah, likely going to try to feed him throughout the better part of the second half. He's a little bit quicker. He's more of a one cut back, and we saw it there. It looked like San Benito had him, made one cut outside. He got all the way outside, got enough for the first down.
So it brings up a 1st and 10. They're going to hand it off back to Rivera, trying to spin out of tackles left and right, but that's not going to be the case. It's number 79, the big man. Excuse me, not number 79. What number did you see from here, John?
It was a bunch of them. It wasn't just one.
A gang of Greyhounds, we'll say, tackle Rivera, and it's going to be a loss of 3. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 13, actually. So we mentioned the playoff run for the Greyhounds already, as they're not looking to repeat a one-and-done season, as Campbell hands it off to Clow. He's going to be pushing forward. Clow is like one of those guys who the first contact, and he's going to make sure he gets a second burst of speed. We saw it here, and we saw it in other carries he's had, and that just elevates him to get more yards after the first initial contact than other backs do.
Yeah, definitely the first tackle will not bring him down unless it's an absolutely massive hit there, but he's able to spin out of a tackle, fall forward for a couple extra more yards there.
So it brings up a 3rd and 8. Campbell's dropping back to pass. Pressure comes, gets it off, and it almost gets intercepted. Almost went the other way. That was Bamani Guy. Another one. He plays returner and he plays corner, and that almost got back for 6 maybe, John. He had a green grass down the right sideline.
Yeah, I definitely think that would have been for 6. The only man that would have had the opportunity to catch him would have more than likely been Rivera himself. So Vela catches a break there, and they'll punt it away here on 4th down.
It's going to be number 4 back to punt, Justin Vega. And back to receive, we're going to see it, Bamani Guy, as well as number 5, Jermaine Corbin. As the punt is up and away, it takes a little bounce. Guy has it, fielded, makes one tackle. One tackle miss, and the SaberCats just jump on his back, and they get him down all the way to about the 24-yard line in that little area. So the SaberCats' first drive of the second half, 3 and out. What do you think the Greyhounds do here? They have momentum on their side. They're only down 3, and this is the first drive of the second half. Adjustments have been made. what adjustments have been made in your mind?
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be just a little bit more eye candy for the defense. Try to throw them off the guard, and I think eventually we'll see a couple of deep shots here in the second half.
Not much of a passing team, these Greyhounds, as they're going to open up with a run for Garcia that gets stuffed in the background and in the backfield, and it's going to be number 42 there for the tackle. That is Daniel Arce.
Arce plays on the opposite side of Duffner, so we haven't been able to call his name too much due to Duffner chasing him down. Now this time Arce gets his own call here.
You see these Greyhounds, they're more going away from the side of Duffner, but he's been able to get in the backfield a couple of times. They're going to hand it off once again to Garcia, and he's going to fall forward. What was a 2nd and 12 is going to bring up a 3rd and maybe 8. So maybe a 4-yard carry there for the Greyhounds.
Vela defense trying to force a 3 and out of their own here. Try to get the offense back out, let them establish a rhythm of sort.
So 3rd and 7, to be exact. They're getting the play call from the sideline, huddled up, but the receivers are out. It's 2 receivers on each side of the ball, or 2 receivers split on each side of De Leon. They motion over Corbin, and then they're going to roll out to the right-hand side. He has blockers. He's going to launch one. Almost gets intercepted by the SaberCats. That's number 31, I believe. I can barely see it from up here, but we're going to give it to Ian Nova, which indeed it was. They just called his name down on the field. We were able to hear just a glimpse of it. So that stops the clock with 8:35 and 3 and outs on both sides of the ball. Both teams have adjusted pretty well. It seems like they had a little mole on each side of the locker room, like they knew what they were going to run coming out of the half, John.
Yeah, no, both defenses stepping up huge, trying to keep momentum on their side. The Greyhounds come out and force a huge stop, and the SaberCats come right back out and answer the bell here. So just a great job for both teams here.
Navarro gets the punt return, takes it all the way down to their own sideline as they're going to cross over into Greyhound territory with a 1st and 10. They're going to mark them down at about the 47-yard line, and that's where they're going to start their second drive of the half. I want to give a quick shout out to everybody watching. I know we don't have video. That is due to some of the sponsors not giving their paycheck our way, but there's nothing we can do about that. We can only control what we can control, and what we can control here is the computer, the play clock, and the scoreboard. Whatever happens down on the field, that's up to the SaberCats and the Greyhounds, as the SaberCats have a 1st and 10, and they give it to Rivera to the right-hand side. A flag comes in. The Greyhounds are on their feet, and it looks like it's going to be a holding on the SaberCats. And indeed, it is going to be a holding. It looks like they're going to take him back 10 yards. So the SaberCats, what was a 1st and 10, is going to be a 1st and 20. The first big penalty of the game, John, I guess you could say.
Yeah, definitely. This one's going to put them back 10 yards, and it's really going to hurt the SaberCats. As they had decent field position. They're still in a decent spot here, but 1st and 20 is a long way to make up in 3 plays.
Brings up a 1st and 20 at the SaberCats 43-yard line, and we're going to have a timeout called by Coach Campbell and the SaberCat offense as they want to talk some things over on this 1st and 20 play. There's not really much to talk about. The first major penalty we've seen, it came on a 10-yard loss. There's been no personal fouls, 1 false start, and that's basically it for penalties for this game. And the 3rd flag came into the game just right now. It was a quick 30-second timeout. SaberCats already back on the field on offense, and they're looking to get all those yards back. Their only score, or their first score, came when they were backed up on a 4th and about 13, I believe, John. And they just found Rivera wide open on a busted coverage by San Benito. And here they are. It's 1st and 20. They're in the same situation they were before.
Yeah, no, they're definitely. It's one of those offenses where they could pop off at any moment, so no yardage is really safe. But the way the San Benito defense has been playing, it's going to make it a little bit tough.
Pressure comes from San Benito, but Campbell gets it out quick to Galvan down the left side. And they're going to go back into Greyhound territory. And instead of it being a 2nd and 20, it's going to be a 2nd and about 3. So a nice 17-yard carry there by Galvan. Sets up the SaberCats with a 2nd and manageable. We'll put it at that.
Yeah, great first down play. They hit Galvan out of the backfield. Seemed it was kind of a swing, a wheel route type of deal there. And it gets him in open space, and he makes it work.
Galvan back in motion. They're going to hand it off down to Cloud. They need 3 yards for the first. And we'll see if they end up moving the chains on the official spot. Right now, they haven't called an official spot. And it looks like it's going to bring down a 3rd and a maybe 1. That's maybe 3rd inches, John.
Yeah, that one's real close there. A little bit surprised with no measurement there. Seems the referee. Now it seems he might take a peek.
And the official just stepped in, and they're going to mark him for a first down, the head judge. So it looks like they're going to move him over. They got a fresh set of downs, so instead of a 3rd and 1, 1st and 10 as the clock continues to roll down. Edinburg Vela still on top by 3, 10-7, 6:47 and counting here in the 3rd quarter. And a flag comes from the back judge. Might be a delay of game on the offense, and you know Coach Campbell's going to try and fight that one.
And what the SaberCats are arguing is that the play clock never reset after the head ref came in and signaled first down.
And there you go. He's announcing right now on the field to please reset the play clock. So that's that wasn't nobody's fault. That was just the time manager up in the booth on the other side. So here we are. 1st and 10, no penalty there. Might have gotten a jump. They're going to get a free play, and it's going to be a pass outside to Tamez on the left-hand side. He's going to make it to the 30. Forward progress would put him at maybe about the 31-yard line as he went back just a bit. And the flag rolls in.
Yeah, that one likely going to be offsides on the Greyhounds unless there was one during the play. But it seemed Vela had a free shot there.
And there's the official, put hands on his hips and pointed to the north side. That's where the Greyhounds are. That's the end zone they're defending. So it's going to push up the SaberCats, 5 yards with a 1st and 5 now instead of a 1st and 10. Campbell's going to hand it off the left-hand side. Rivera gets it, makes a couple of guys miss, and he has a huge first down gain. They're going to make it all the way to maybe the 22, maybe 21-yard line, John. They've been moving the ball. It started in Greyhound territory. A holding brought them all the way back to their own 43. Here they are at their own, at the Greyhound 22, making up yards.
Yeah, so a big adjustment that I've seen down there is that the O-linemen are really starting to find their rhythm, starting to get a hold of the San Benito Greyhounds and starting to push them back, especially in the run game.
The motion over Galvan again with a 1st and 10. Greyhounds calling for a flag, saying that somebody moved. And there no flag's going to come in. They're going to hand it off quickly. I believe that was number 28, Jamal Poley. He's a sophomore halfback getting us some action here in the bi-district round for the SaberCats. He's going to get him 3 yards, and he's going to check out as it looks like Clow might check back into the game here.
A 2nd and about 7, maybe 8 there. It's going to be 2nd and 7 here for the SaberCats. Now in the red zone at the Greyhound 19.
So 19 yards to go with a 2nd and 7. Clock still rolling. Nothing has stopped it except the last penalty. Rivera gets the handoff down the right-hand side, makes one man miss, cuts it twice inside as he gets in the end zone for 6 points. And the SaberCats back on top once again with a 2-possession lead. 16-7 is a score. And Rivera, just making a move there, cuts it inside, makes, I believe, the safety miss. That was number 24, DeAnthony Mirales, and then cuts it once again as it makes the other safety who came across the formation, and he gets in the end zone with a 2nd touchdown of the night for the SaberCats.
Yeah, and that run game blocking was huge there. No holes, nothing came through. Rivera able to bounce it all the way outside and go untouched in the end zone from 19 yards out.
17-7 is a score as Jab Juarez gets it right through the uprights. We're going to be back with the kickoff after this here on Real Sports Live.
Harlingen Cardinals and would like to wish all the teams good luck in tonight's games.
We envision that San Perlita ISD will help our students acquire the necessary knowledge, communication, and problem-solving skills through a variety of educational and social experiences to become productive citizens in our global society. Be a part of the change to help create a community where we guide each other to our unlimited potential.
We are Santa Rosa, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
And welcome back here to Real Sports Live. 17-7, Pablo Rivera just scored his second touchdown of the night as the SaberCats take a 17-7 lead. Juarez kicks it off, and it looks like it's going to go into the end zone and a touchback. So that only means one thing. That means the Greyhounds are going to start this second possession, or this next possession, the next drive, I guess you could say, at their own 25-yard line.
Yeah, we really need to see the Greyhound offense come out and establish some sort of rhythm, get them going, get a couple first downs. Even if you don't score on this drive, you need to get a couple first downs because that SaberCat defense is starting to fall into a rhythm here.
SaberCat defense and the offense as well. Greyhounds looking for some points. Even 3 will do it. They'll put them within 1. So we'll see what the time changes here. If the tide changes, we'll say that. It's going to be another handoff and a fake, I guess you could say a fake a trick play, we'll call it that. As that pass is going to fall incomplete, the Yolan tried getting it out to Ricky Perez.
Yeah, so now we're going to have a new quarterback entered in this ball game. It's going to be number 16, Andres Villagran. I saw him warming up. I thought it was maybe just something that he was just going to go through occasionally throughout the game. Now he steps in here in the spot district round.
Here we are, 2nd and 10 now. They're going to hand it off to Garcia, left-hand side. There's blocks, but someone comes loose, and it's number 8. Joshua Garcia, the senior defensive back, making a play in the backfield there as well, not in the backfield, I guess. Garcia gained about 2 yards, so it might bring up a 3rd and 8, and it is.
Yeah, so Joshua Garcia really, it seemed there was a huge hole down the sideline. Garcia came out of virtually nowhere, made the tackle after only a gain of about 2, and it's going to set up a 3rd and 7 here for the Greyhounds.
Packed house at Richard R. Flores Stadium. Looks like it's a home game for both sides of the ball. You won't even notice who's the home and away team as they're going to launch it down the field. A huge catch, and it's number 88 down the middle, Nick Gonzalez. He plays receiver, tight end, and guess what? He also plays offensive line. He can block as well. A big man down the field, down the middle. And it's a huge first down. You mentioned they need to get some things going, and that's a huge momentum shifter right there.
Yeah, Villagran seems to be the passing quarterback here. He steps in, he does a couple running plays, and then they finally let him loose. He throws the seam right over the middle and is caught for a first down some more.
Villagran in the backfield once again takes the snap, and they're going to hand it off to Garcia. Left-hand side, SaberCats are there for it. It was number 44 with the first initial contact for the SaberCats. That is Ethan Aguirre, another senior linebacker for the SaberCats. You know, John, we were mentioning earlier in the season how Vela can just pump out players left and right, like they're making them in a factory. We look at the roster here, there's quite a bit of seniors, but then you see sophomores and you see juniors that are getting playing time and are making big plays here in the by-district round of a playoff game.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a junior and senior field team, but the sophomores that do play, they make a huge impact in this ball game.
There's Villagran once again trying to find somewhere to go, gets a stiff arm, and he's just going to roll out of bounds and maybe lose 1 or 2 on that last play. If not, he might make it back to the original line of scrimmage. That's going to stop us there at the 3-minute mark in quarter number 3. Villagran probably could have thrown it out. He did lose 3. It's a 3rd and 13. He probably could have thrown it. It wouldn't have been an intentional grounding. There was a receiver in the vicinity. I guess he just didn't think much of it, as he's barely getting action in the second half. And we have a timeout on the field. SaberCats take it. We'll see if this is another, remember that Alabama game when they played and they were losing down at the half and they brought in Tua Tagovailoa and he came back and won it for them. This might be another one of those situations if, Andres Villagran could come back and win this one for the San Benito Greyhounds.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a big change to make, especially in the middle of a playoff in the middle of a playoff bowl game. So you'll definitely see a little bit more of the passing game here in the second half due to that quarterback switch.
You got a quarterback that can run, and you got a quarterback that can pass. They got the passing quarterback in right now. Yards have been hard to come by against the SaberCat defense on the ground, so they're going to try and look for some of the air. And they found a huge one that sent them with a 1st and 10. But, slight minor mistake by Villagran. He runs out of bounds. It's a 3rd and 13 now at the Greyhounds at their own 44-yard line. They're trying to cross over the hump, get it over the 50-yard line, get a first down here, get a fresh set of downs. We'll see if they can do that on this play. He's going to drop back to pass. It's going to be a screen play, almost intercepted as they cut that one off. That was Ryan Rodriguez. He cut that one off pretty good there as he read it all the way through.
Yeah, Rodriguez making a huge play there. Nearly able to take that one back to the house. Had a bunch of green grass there. Just couldn't quite get both hands on the football there. Pass break up, and nonetheless, it's going to bring up a 4th down. And shout out to Nico Rodriguez, listening to the audio broadcast, listening to his younger brother play.
He's up in Manhattan, Kansas. He's playing baseball for the Kansas State Wildcats over there. And his little brother here is playing on the gridiron for the Vela SaberCats. Punt gets up and away. Navarro's back forward. He's going to let it bounce as it takes a Greyhound bounce all the way out of bounds at the 11-yard line. And now the SaberCats got quite a ways to move here on this next possession if they want to, add on a couple more points on this drive.
A great punt there. Really flipped the field position. It's huge because we haven't seen a punt like that throughout this ball game. This time he really lets it fly and sets up Vela deep in their own territory.
And Navarro probably could have returned that one for a bit, but there was some Greyhounds rushing down the field, and they got there pretty quickly. So he's like, you know what, I'm gonna play this one safe. I'm gonna let this one fly over my head, wherever it lands. He has faith in this offense so they can get the ball down the field. As they hand it off to Rivera, has a block, and we're talking about playmakers, and here's one. He beats out the whole Greyhound defense, and he goes into the end zone on a 1-play touchdown. And the SaberCats tack on another 6. But we do have a flag back on the field down at about the 25-yard line. We're going to see if that one comes back, and it will, as the Greyhound fans were stunned in silence. They now jump in joy as they're going to erase those 6 points off the board. And the SaberCats move back once again.
Yeah, no big penalty there, especially on an 89-yard untouched rush from Rivera, by the way. Made a huge cut in the outside. Well, ran all the way down the sideline, beat out the safety. But now it's going to be 1st and about 1st and 15 maybe after done with his penalty yardage.
We're going to see where they mark him officially. I think they're just going to mark him 15 yards or 10 yards from the spot of the foul, John. So it's going to be a 1st and let's see where they mark him. Probably a 1st and 5. 1st and 4. So once again, they're going to give it this time to Galvan, and he's going to be stuffed in the backfield. And the name that hasn't came out a lot comes out, Eli Trevino. Their leading tackler on this Greyhound defense makes a play there.
Yeah, and the reason why I'm sure Trevino's name hasn't been called out too much tonight is because during that bye week, when they were going over both teams, they probably keyed on a couple key players and said, hey, if we want to win this ball game, we need to get to the second level, and we need to block this guy up.
Not just key on him. I'm sure they went to the Westago game where he had 11 total tackles by himself, solo tackles, none assisted, and 2 sacks. So I'm sure they had some people out there scouting in that Westago game, that Westago matchup, and they figured out, hey, this is the man we got to run the ball away from if we want to have a chance in this football game. And we have a timeout called on the field, but we're going to stay with you. It's a 2nd and 4 with 1:44 here in the third quarter.
Yeah, late substitution there for Vela. Brought in the referee to make sure if San Benito did want to sub, they could, and that drove the play clock all the way down to about 2 by the time he got back. And by the time that happened, the SaberCats were begging for a timeout.
And they have no more left. SaberCats with 0 timeouts, and the Greyhounds with all 3 in their back pocket. Coach Gomez might use those wisely come the 4th quarter. We're late in the game, and right now they're down 17-7, almost down 3 possessions on that last play if it would have stood, but that's not the case. It brings up a 2nd and 4. The only reason it's a 2nd and 4, they gave him 15 yards back from the original spot, from the spot of the foul. So that puts them here with a second and 4. They need 4 yards, fresh set of downs, 144 in the third quarter. Hand off the right-hand side. Rivera's going to get it, and they're in the backfield quickly. Number 28. Guess who, John? Padilla. Once again in the backfield for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, Padilla doing an excellent job all night. And you see him come out from under the pile, and you know he's not the biggest man, but boy does he get the job done.
And not the biggest man at all. I mean, you see him matched up against some of his teammates, and he's on the shorter end, a little stocky. But I mean, that's what you find in guys. If you could break away, you can get past that big right tackle and make a play. Coach, you're gonna get playing time regardless. He's applying pressure once again, and the SaberCats fall back as the Greyhounds get a sack there. It's number 12, Nova Bejaran in the backfield for the Greyhounds. So 2 big plays on defense. And here we are, John, a 4th and 12 for SaberCats.
And this time the Greyhounds will only send out 1 punt returner. Likely going to come after the punt here as the punter standing in his own end zone.
So we haven't seen much pressure on punts here for the Greyhounds, but Vela hasn't been punting much themselves. So they kind of switch up the strategy here. Corbin's the lone man in the backfield. As they thought they could get pressure, able to get it off. That is number 9, rushing to the ball, making sure Corbin doesn't go anywhere, is Jackson Shoup. And here we are now. Greyhounds have the ball once again. What could have been a 24-7 game, John, keeps us at 17-7 due to a holding penalty.
Yeah, a holding penalty, and then huge stops in the backfield. One from Padilla and one from Bejaran. And it was a tackle for loss and a sack there, and forces Edinburg Vela to punt. Now the Greyhounds take over at their own 41.
18 seconds left to play here in the third quarter. This might be the last play of the game, as they're going to have Villagran once again, a lefty throw out to Corbin, and they're going to throw the flag as Joshua Garcia like, hey man, from where? But you know, he was hugging Corbin like he was taking him out to prom or something, and that's going to be called 100% of the time.
Yeah, especially the fact that he didn't have his back turns towards the ball or anything. It's a no-brainer. Graham couldn't even attempt to go to the ball, as he was hugged up pretty well.
Villagran knew what was going on, the situation downfield. Corbin knew if he just threw his hands up and let Garcia take him out to prom, it was going to be a 15-yard penalty. Not from the spot of the foul, but from the original line of scrimmage. So that sets up the Greyhounds in SaberCat territory, what we thought would have been one play in the fourth quarter. Turns out they might have another one right now.
Yeah, so now the Greyhounds take over at the 44 of the SaberCats in great field position, trying to bring this back to a one-score game.
1st and 10, 11 seconds left. Villagran rolling out to the left-hand side again, strikes it out to number 4, Ricky Perez. He's going to go out of bounds, I believe. The official signaled threw his arm in a winding clock, so I don't know if they're going to give him one more play. No, they're not. There it is, the fourth quarter, John. All the 4s are up on both sides of the stands, on the field as well. We're in for a classic ending here at Richard R. Flores Stadium. 12 minutes will decide who is moving on to the area round of the playoffs.
Yeah, San Benito, ever since they did make the switch to quarterback, it's been a different complexity here. And we can see it. Now they're starting to throw the ball a lot more, trying to get Graham out in space. And so this offense working out well so far. We'll see what Vela tries to do to make any adjustments.
We mentioned the Greyhounds one-and-done season last year. We looked at the SaberCats last season. You know, their first district game, or first playoff game, was against Wesco. It was a nail-biter, 38-33. They made it to the second round, but they lost to San Antonio Brennan 28-3. So they're trying to make it back to round number 3, as Villagran's going to take that on a quarterback keeper. He's going to get knocked up quickly and brought down after a nice little chunk of yardage. Might be a gain of 5 or 4.
Yeah, nice little mix-up there for Villagran to carry the ball here and let him know, hey, you can key on the pass, but I'm still going to try to run it myself.
And the SaberCats were there for it, but not after 6 yards, as Villagran ran tough on that one. That brings up a 2nd and 4 with 11:30 in the fourth. And we're down to the last couple of drives, last couple of plays, I guess you could say last couple of possessions for both sides of the ball at that. There's been a lot of ball control on offense in the first half as they're going to hand it off to Garcia there. Makes a man miss in the backfield as he's going to lunge forward for 4 more and more. And 1st and 10 for the Greyhounds as the clock continues to move.
Yeah, big first down there for the Greyhounds. They're starting to push the chains at will here and trying to find the end zone here.
And I don't know if y'all could hear it, but in the background, the fans are starting to get involved as they're inside the red zone for the first time. I mean, in a while, John, we haven't seen them in the red zone, you know, since the first half. And here they are once again. Villagran leading the offense. Read option. He's going to roll out to the right-hand side and take it for himself, trying to put a shoulder down, but he's just going to get tackled up behind the line. That was number 11, Miguel Ibarra, making a stop there for the SaberCats.
Yeah, miscommunication on the play there. Villagran rolling out right, like he wanted to throw, but the only receiver lined up on that side of blocking down the field. So a huge misinterpretation of the play there, and it's going to be a loss of about 2 there, 2nd and 12.
Yeah, so 2nd and 12, and down to 10 minutes. No one's going out of bounds. No one's calling timeouts. So it's kind of just, you know, who's going to win. I mean, right now it's kind of like it's an even possession of clock for both sides of the ball. They're going to hand it off to Garcia, left-hand side. You can see, you know, the defensive coordinator for Vela, Jody Cantu. You know, he's the only one. He looks like a gorilla down there. He's in a blue shirt. You know, he's clapping it up. He's getting involved as well as the San Benito team. So they're 2 teams well coached. They know what's the hand. You got to be behind the players at all times. You know, let them know. We got to bring them up, even when they're down. You got to bring them up to their highs, so they can have the confidence to go out there and play. John, you know, we went through that. You know, we know what it takes. We know how it feels when a coach says, "Hey, come on, man, you're okay. You're doing good." 3rd and 14 for the Greyhounds. Villagran's gonna hurdle and get knocked up, as it's gonna be number 95. Once again, Joshua Gallegos for the SaberCats. And we're going to have an injury timeout down on the field. One of the SaberCats is down, so we're going to take one as well. We'll be back after this here on Real Sports Live.
Feeling you get when you walk onto a campus.
A sense of love, compassion, and dedication.
An environment that inspires each of our HCISD family members
to do their best and to be their best.
We ground our education on strong character, and together, we will always persist towards the future.
We are a district of choice.
A district of innovation.
And a district of excellence.
We are HCISD.
We are Edinburg, Vela, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Sherryland ISD, a nationally recognized district focusing on quality and rigorous instruction where every child is immersed in a culture of academic success. A district dedicated to preparing our youth for the future. Our mission is to inspire, educate, and empower all students to reach their full potential and become leaders of the highest moral character. Sherryland ISD, excellence is our tradition.
So here we are back. You just saw the Sherryland commercial. John, we're going to be doing that game tomorrow as well. Sherryland versus Floresville over at in Sherryland, Texas. 9:09 and counting. Here we are. Villagran just going to let it fly. No Greyhounds in the area, and the defense for the SaberCats comes up with a 4 and out.
Yeah, huge stop there due to Jake Duffner. Duffner came around the edge, able to tip the pass as it's going forward, goes incomplete. SaberCats take over, and Duffner's going crazy on the sidelines.
Exactly 9 minutes left to play, and we're going to see who moves on. 17-7, SaberCats lead, and they have the ball back once again at their own 29-yard line.
The Vela offense in a great position to chew some clock here. San Benito defense needs a 3-and-out because they're trailing by 2 possessions. They need a 3-and-out, try to get their offense back in the field, or try to get a turnover here. A turnover here would be huge on the end for San Benito.
We'll see what they can do here. They need to stop now. They're going to hand it off to Rivera, left-hand side. He's going to take it and get drugged down from the back by number 10 of the San Benito defense, Eli Trevino, making a tackle there for his Greyhounds.
Gain of about 3 there for Vela. Excellent play on the Greyhounds, able to limit them there. Still trying to push the ball down. Still trying to chew up some clock here are the SaberCats.
That's something you got to do in a close game like this, especially when you're up by this much and you got a Greyhound team like this that can possess the ball as much as they wanted to. And here we go. We got another flag down the field, and it's going to be a false start on the SaberCats. What was a 2nd and 7 turns into a 2nd and 12 for Edinburg Vela.
And this is great. This is great for the Greyhounds, if you ask me. The Greyhounds really want to push them back and really want to try them in as much of their own territory as they can to set up either a punt or to try to go for the block here.
And they need to get a stop here. 7 yards and what you push them back 5, or you get them to go back 5. And your luck. It kind of puts a little weight off of the shoulders when you're the defense and you need a stop like this. Handoff to Galvan, right-hand side. That might go for maybe 2 yards or 1 yard as the official only moves up just a bit. So actually, look at that, John. They're losing 1. A 3rd and 13 now for the SaberCats. And the Greyhounds looking for a 3 and out.
Yeah, that's a huge part due to Mauricio Padilla once again blowing up the play in the backfield. Not able to get the tackle, but able to able to cause havoc. It was able to get the trip, and the rest of the Greyhounds able to finish him off there.
Indeed, that is the case. 3rd and 13. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, let us know where you're watching from. We'll give you a shout-out. As Campbell drops back to pass, he's one deep for Rivera, covered by 3, and he caught it all the way down to the Greyhounds' 30-yard line. And he's been the Superman X factor here in this SaberCat offense tonight. He can run the ball, he can catch the ball. And here's a big play as the SaberCats are set up with another 1st and 10 in Greyhound territory.
What a play by Vela. And Campbell lobs it up into triple coverage, knowing, hey, my guy will come down with it or he's going to knock it down for me. My guys will take care of me. And Rivera, excellent catch and run after there. And now it's going to be 1st and 10 here from the 23.
Handoff down to Poli. He's going to go for maybe a gain of 2 or 3. He will get forward progress, so it's going to bring up a 2nd and 8. But we did talk about, you mentioned he wasn't triple coverage, which he was. And to have trust in your receiver like that when it's, a 3rd, you're backed up 3rd and 13, you're going to let one fly. Either this is going to go back to the Greyhounds with a punt or an interception, and you have 3-on-1, and you trust your receiver like that. That says a lot going into the playoffs, going into the week, into practice, and at least you saw how much chemistry the team has together.
Yeah, it was definitely a huge play to especially keep this drive alive here.
Campbell, roll out, pass. He's going to find Shoop in the front of the pylon in the end zone as that pass goes incomplete, and the flag comes flying in late. That was number 73, Mark Gomez, and number 12 for the Greyhounds, Nova Beharan, kind of duking it out just a bit. We'll see what the flag is on. It's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct on the SaberCats. So another big flag for Vela, their second big one. The first one was a holding, 2 holdings, and now they have an unsportsmanlike, and that pushes them back from a 2nd and 9 all the way to a 2nd or 3rd and forever. I want to give a quick shout out, John. Look who's over here watching the game. It's Coach Gonzalez. So, shout out to Coach Gonzalez. He coached both John and I when we played here at Vela. And it's Campbell dropping back to pass. Tovar, pass goes incomplete. So a 3rd and 25 turns into a 4th and 25. And John, say your little punchline here.
No, you're too close to punt here, but you're also too far away to kick. So they're likely gonna go for it. But in this situation where you're up by 2 possessions and there's 6 minutes left, I'd really rather see a punt here. Make him drive down 90 for 1 possession and then try to come back especially with the way San Benito likes to play offense, where they chew the clock. So just my preference.
It's going to be a trips to the left for the SaberCats. Campbell's dropping back to passer, going for it, stepping up, and he heaves it deep once again. He doesn't have his man. That pass was intended for Justin Vega as it goes incomplete. I say he should have just stepped up and ran with it, got as much yards as possible, slid down, and then make the Greyhounds work for the yards. Right now they're going to give them the ball at their own 37-yard line.
Yeah, no, that's definitely why I preferred that the SaberCats would have punted there. But, you know, every coach has their reason for doing their things, and now it's going to set up San Benito 1st and 10 from their own 37.
And their reason for doing things is questionable to us, but they know what they're doing down on the field. They see things that we don't see. No, we're just up here commentating. We play the game. We know how some things go, but not how everything goes.
There's a reason why they're down there and I'm up here.
You're damn right. They step up. Duffner's there. He applies pressure, but they get it off. That's Villagran getting it off to his receiver number 4, Ricky Perez. Those two have been like peanut butter and jelly here in this second half. You know, they're going for it. They're getting passes complete, but we're still waiting to see that one pass that puts San Benito over the top and gets them, you know, more momentum on their side. They're still down 2 possessions, and there's only 5 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the ball game. As Villagran's going to fumble that one, able to jump back on it. Read option didn't go his way, and they're just going to record a sack there for Jake Duffner as he was in the vicinity, tapped Villagran, and another one on his stat sheet.
Yeah, clock still running here. Remember, San Benito's still trailing by 10, so they do need to score kind of quick and to leave enough time to force a stop and get some more points on the board.
That brings up a 3rd and 5 now. You know, we mentioned Duffner in the first half, making his presence known. He makes it known once again here as he kind of blows up that play. Villagran drops back to pass. Pressure comes. He misses him as he gets one across the field. That's number 14 on the reception with a first down and more. Fabian Garcia making a huge play for the San Benito Greyhounds as they go into SaberCat territory at the SaberCats 39-yard line to be exact.
Yeah, that's just the play they needed. It was 3rd and about 5. Villagran making a miss in the backfield and then able to fire off that pass.
Villagran sends one out to the right-hand side, and it goes back to the SaberCats as it is intercepted by number 11, Miguel Ibarra. And the San Benito fans getting up. And it looks like they're already taking off, catching and beating traffic here, as it looks like the SaberCats are going to move on to the next round. 4-19. Anything can still happen, John. You know, we've seen crazier games than this. It only depends. You know, I know down there, Coach Gomez is, hey, man, you know, we still got this. We're still in this dogfight. There's 4 minutes and 19 seconds left to play. And that's still enough time for mistakes to be made and for things to, you know, go the other way.
Yeah, it just seemed like a miscommunication there between the receiver and the quarterback there. The quarterback threw it inside. The receiver was running a sort of comeback route, and the only man in the area was Ibarra for the SaberCats.
That's correct. They're going to hand it off there on a 1st and 10 to Galvan. He's going to run to the left-hand side. And this is like one of those situations when those 3 timeouts that Coach Gomez has saved, you know, starts coming into play. He still has 3 timeouts left. There's 4 minutes left. It's 2nd and 6. You get it, you know, pressure applied. They knock him back. Anything can happen, John.
Oh, most definitely. We could have a bad snap that goes over the head. We could have the ball pops out, and all of a sudden San Benito's in great territory. So anything can still happen. San Benito just needs it to happen quick for them.
Yeah, it does. And they're going to hand it off to Galvano once again, and they get a first down, and they keep moving the ball. SaberCat fans on the other side, you know, jumping in joy when that interception happened. They knew they were going to, you know, have the upper hand as we roll down to the last final minutes in the 4th quarter. It's going to be a 1st and 10. The play clock looks like the SaberCats is going to huddle out. And that's when we talk about time of possession. You know, I don't know what the official stat for that was, but I know the SaberCats did have the ball, and they pounded it and got first downs and kept the ball rolling as they handed off to Galvan. The right-hand side, a fumble. We mentioned that as Galvan was able to jump back on it. And, you know, you said it. It needed to come quick for the Greyhounds. It almost came there, but It just didn't fall in their favor.
Yeah, so clock still ticking away. Going to be 2nd and 11 here for the SaberCats. Just about 2.5 minutes left to go in this fourth quarter.
2:33, and the SaberCats break the huddle. Campbell in the backfield. They're going to hand it off to the right-hand side. It is going to be Poley with the handoff there, the carry. You know, John, this is probably one of the first times that we've seen the Vela offense, the Vela starters, you know, play a full game. You know, they blow out their opponents by so much, as we got a timeout called there by Coach Gomez with 2:20. We're going to stick with you, actually. And the first time we actually see them play a full 4 quarters, you know, they blow out their opponents. You look at their scores from other games, and their backups are playing by the second quarter, third quarter, and the whole second half.
Yeah, no, the Mission game, excuse me, the SaberCats, they were able to play the full game. Mission gave them a huge test, and Mission were able. They felt they lost the game, but they played pretty well, able to ride that momentum, and they did beat PSG North to lock up the number 2 seed last week. So it was a huge kind of moral win for the Eagles, and they converted to an actual win against the Raiders. But no, the SaberCat team is finally playing a full game. I believe this is the second or third time this season. So now they'll be ready to go going forward.
Yeah, so as we look forward to next week, we're going to find out the official victor of tonight's game. And they will be playing the Del Rio Rams or the San Antonio Taft Raiders. John was telling me that it's more likely going to be San Antonio Taft. So we're going to be, you know, homing in close on that one for tomorrow, as Chase Campbell gets a little play action read option. He's going to run out to the right-hand side by himself, and he's going to roll out of bounds with about 2:12 left to play.
See, and that's exactly what San Benito wanted, because they don't have to waste the time out there. Now the clock stops. It's going to set up about a 4th and 5. So still relatively in this, just they need to get either a block punt or a great return to set them up in good field position here with only 2 minutes left in this ball game.
Right now they're going to be sending, looks like number 26, Bomani Guy. He's going to be back to return the punt for the Greyhounds. Is there a couple of fans on their feet, you know, in anticipation and like, come on, man, we got this. We can do this. A 4th and 6, the clock stops with 2:12, and the Greyhounds have 2 timeouts left. The snap goes a bit high. Pressure almost gets there, and Guy is going to field it at the 25-yard line. Makes a couple of SaberCats miss. A stiff arm there, as he's going to get drug out of bounds at the 35, 36-yard line. Maybe he could have gotten a horse collar there if he would have gone down with that tackle, but he was able to escape it and just go out of bounds with 1:59 left to play. So what's the strategy here, John? You know, you're in 2-minute drill offense. You have 2 timeouts. You need a score, get the onside, or do something to get the ball back quickly so the SaberCats won't have it back in their hand.
Realistically, it's going to feel like a 1-minute drill due to it being a 2-position ball game. You know, you do have your 2 timeouts, but you still want to give yourself some time to where you can control some things.
3 receivers to the left-hand side. Villagran's going to send one over the middle, and it's going to be almost intercepted, but it falls incomplete. That pass was intended for Ricky Bettis.
Yeah, on the pass break up there, that's going to be Ethan Aguirre. Aguirre, the linebacker, out in coverage, able to break that one up. It stayed in the air for a while. No one could really locate it, Aguirre or the receiver in the area. Falls to the turf. It's going to be 2nd and 10 here.
Villagran once again in the shotgun, dropping back to pass. Pressure comes. He steps up in the pocket, and there is Gallegos once again alongside Duffner, making their presence known here late in this game. They've been getting to the quarterback all night. They've been in the backfield. It's like they live there. They already probably set up camp as well. And they get another one there, another big pressure play on Villagran, and on these Greyhounds at that. It's a 3rd and 10 now with 1:26 and counting.
Going to have a quarterback draw play here.
Villagran, actually not Villagran. That's number 14, Fabian Garcia.
Excuse me, a halfback draw there. Works to perfection there. Gain of about 14 there.
So that clock continues to roll. No timeout has been called. I believe Coach Gomez trusts that they can get this possession back if they score here. Villagran breaking loose, cutting it inside. and eventually getting brought down. It gets fumbled, but they're going to mark him down as is not a pretty hit. Villagran took a big shot there. He's slow to get up. It looks like De Leon's coming back into the game for the Greyhounds. Actually, now Villagran's, sucking it up. He's got to be out there for his team. There's 46 seconds left. 40 to be exact and counting.
Now we're going to have a timeout here from San Benito. They want to talk some things over, make sure Villagran is okay.
Villagran just a bit shaken up on that last play. He took a big hit, able to get back up on his own 2 feet. And Coach Gomez like, hey, you know what? We got a timeout in our back pocket. Let's use it here. Let's, settle. Let's calm the nerves of this offense. We need to score now. And this might be a 2-point situation as well, John. They score here. If they do, and it's 42 seconds, then they got to go for 2. They go for 2. That puts them at 15. And they can get ball back, and all they need is a field goal, and they get out of here with a victory. And a lot needs to happen for these Greyhounds if they want to try and escape the SaberCat offense here in Edinburg.
Yeah, no, the SaberCats in a prime position. And you saw it there. Villagran was able to escape the pocket, but they forced him to run back into the field of play. Didn't let him get out of bounds, so the clock will keep ticking away.
And it's a smart play there by the SaberCats defense. Keep him in bounds, keep the clock rolling. As he's going to roll out to the left-hand side, has Bettis once again. And Bettis is going to go out of bounds, and that's going to stop the clock with 36 seconds left to play. Quick strike out of bounds, John. They should have been doing that here at the beginning of this drive, not, keeping it inbounds. But, we live and we learn from certain situations.
Yeah, this time they were able to get out of bounds, but because it was an out route there, so he was able to work his way out of bounds.
Villagran's going to drop back to pass, gets hit as he throws it. And Corbin was in the vicinity, but the official's going to mark him incomplete. So that takes us down to 29 seconds and a 3rd and 2 for the Greyhounds. He got hit as he threw that. It hung in the air for a bit. SaberCats weren't able to get there in time. Ibarra was in the vicinity, almost had another game-sealing interception. But it goes incomplete. The Greyhounds still have it with a 3rd and 2. Villagran once again dropping back to pass, looking to the end zone, finds a man, and it is number 33 ending the game here, Ryan Rodriguez, as the SaberCats are going to move on to the next round of the UIL state playoffs here in the 6A division.
The senior Rodriguez, we just talked about him a little while ago as he made a huge play. Rodriguez just missed an interception on the screen pass. Now he gets one to put this ball game away.
I would have taken the interception on the screen pass. Maybe it went for a touchdown, but to put a game away in an interception, it's always a great feeling. You got all the SaberCat fans on their feet, and all the Greyhound fans already making an exit back to their cars as they got quite a ways back home. So 22 seconds left to play. One kneel down as they're already, shaking hands down on the field. Probably no timeout will be used. Dan Gomez still has one more, the head coach for the Greyhounds. And we'll see if they end up using it here.
So there's a kneel down from Campbell. That's going to wrap this one up. The seniors going to get their home win. Their first playoff game. They played for first time in a while. The SaberCats play at home during a playoff game. They'll wrap this one up against San Benito. They win this one 17-7. Great by district matchup, Brandon.
One of their lower scoring games in their season, but when you're against a Greyhound team like this, it's still like it's a dogfight. This is a huge win and a huge learning point for both sides of the ball. Greyhounds, another one and done playoff season, as the SaberCats are looking to get past the second round, something they weren't able to do last year. They were held to only 3 points against San Antonio Brennan. So they're looking to face maybe another San Antonio team. We'll see how that happens, or we'll see how that goes next week. All from Real Sports Live, Brandon Guzman and John Trevino. Thank you for tuning in, John. It was a pleasure calling the game with you. I look forward to tomorrow night. We're going to be at the Sherryland and Floresville game. That is going to be audio only as well, but we will be uploading highlights in the conclusion of the game. So stay tuned for that as you get to see the big plays that we call and things as such. So all from Richard R. Flores Stadium, I'm Brandon Guzman.
John Thurino saying thank you and good night.
So, second of all, let's hope these Greyhounds have a safe ride back to San Benito, and then everybody, or who was it? St. Joseph. You know, they went to go play their playoff game, and hopefully they have a safe trip back. So long from Richard R. Flores Stadium. SaberCats win it 17-7. God bless.